Three, two, one, action. Welcome back to episode 45 of As Seen on Screen. I'm Nicole.
And I'm Gracie, and we're your source for all things entertainment news, reviews, interviews, and more.
You can find us wherever you get your podcasts on Spotify and YouTube. Well, welcome back to another episode of the show. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so glad to have you here. Today, we have lots to share as usual, starting with our interview with the director and writer of the upcoming film Psychotherapy, the shallow tale of a writer who decided to write about a serial killer. We are talking with Tolga Karaçelik, so let's go to that conversation now. Well, thank you for giving us your time to speak with you about this film. We both really enjoyed it. It was such a joy to watch. So thank you for sharing your time. We're excited to talk about it.
No, thank you very much.
First thing I wanted to talk to you about was the score throughout the film. There's a few scenes where the music is very high energy, very fast paced, even sounded like there were some breath sounds kind of thrown in there and incorporated. So, to both of us, we were talking about how it did a very effective job of inducing anxiety, feeling like you're being watched. So, I was hoping you could expand a bit on that creative process you had with Nathan Klein creating that music.
Nathan, now I can call him a friend, is so great to work with. Like from the first moment that we were talking about, which was not a long time, by the way, that we made this original score. And he was using so strange things like some donkey bones and stuff like that also, because it has this primal side. He's living in London. He's a really, I love all the things that he is doing actually. Like, he understood this primal side of the movie too. I wanted it to sound a little bit childish, plus a little bit eerie. Like the actings are, and some of the dialogues are like 5-year-olds acting in it, and had written by a 5-year-old. And but at the same time, it should have this eerie look, black, Gothic, thrillerish look. So it has those elements also, the music wise. Plus, it has to sound a little bit silly when it's serious and serious when it's silly at the same time. So Nathan, I think, did a great job. I love the soundtrack of this movie.
There's a lot of talking about creativity for the lead character, obviously, with him writing his book. So I'm wondering, do you ever feel pressure to create stories that will be seen as popular or sell well, as opposed to ones that really fuel your passion, kind of like your character with his books?
Yeah, of course, because I'm a writer and director. So what you see is all about me. I'm joking, but it is. But the thing is, I think that award stuff and like you're not able to create came after that. With the butterflies, my last movie, I got the grand jury award at Sundance, and then I realized myself I'm taking it too serious. Like when then I realized I should be dealing with this about myself. What is got into like I think all around I think I got like 40 or 30 international awards with all the films that I've done so far, but the Sundance made me like a little bit pull back and I needed to come back to my senses. So that's where Keen is talking about the awards and Susie saying fuck that award, fuck it. Like it means nothing to nobody. So yeah, my middle name is, by the way, Kenan, and all my male characters had been named Kenan so far. Now it's English, so it's Keen, and my female characters are always Susie. And Afar, the hotel, for example, of Kolmek, is always in my movies. I don't know why. Like it was Afar Port in Ivy, my second film, Afar Town in Butterflies. Now it's Afar Hotel. So I got these like things that I go back to. I don't know why, but like, yeah, it has a lot to do with me dealing with my own taking myself too serious, toxically. Well,
Yeah, it's a nice outlet to have creatively.
I want to chat a bit more about your writing process. There was a line that stood out to me that Keane says to Kolmich, "You saved my life back there." And I thought that was a really funny example of irony that this ex-serial killer is now saving him in a way. But I was interested for your writing process. Do you go in for this film? Did you go into it knowing your beginning, middle, end, or did you kind of let the writing naturally unfold and take you down the avenues as you were going through?
you know how it goes. It's like 4, 8. I started writing this like 8 or something. I was telling you one, it was 7 years. But I realized that it was 7 years before trying to make this film. So there's pandemics and so maybe 8 or 9 years ago. But like I don't write really. I take notes of notebooks and like I take some dialogues, I write down, take notes, etc. And then when I start losing friends, it is where it comes me only talking about the movie. Like, and then he does that. And then my friends are starting to really get bored around me because all I talk about this. Then the time comes down to sit down and write. But at that moment, I know, like the way you would tell a movie to your grandma, like it starts like this, it happens this, then I start taking post-it notes, like every scene and the duration of the scenes. I know usually the duration of my movies before shooting it because I see it with all the scenes in the post-its. I know how long and when is the act one finishing, etc. I'm getting bored here, so why don't I cut out this scene and add the elements over there? So it's kind of like engineering side of it. It is where I am 100% sober, eating one meal a day for a month or two, and just working on the engineering side. So I had to know from beginning to the end what's happening.
Yeah, Gracie and I were both talking about how this film is just so effective in using analogies, just get building your characters' worlds and how these relationships and they interact. And it was really interesting to watch that unfold throughout the film.
It is about the triangles. It's about three, and although if you look at the framing, etc., the therapy scenes when she first meets Colmick, also that scene, etc. It's all about triangles. Triangles are more interesting stories than three is more interesting than two or four, I guess.
Definitely. I mean, keeping on the theme of quotes, one that really stuck out to me was when Susie is kind of talking about Keenan saying his greatest strength is his ability to deny reality. It really stuck out to me. So I'm wondering, for you as a creative, what do you think your greatest strength is? And has it helped you in the way you shape or create your films?
This is exactly also my also greatest ability. I realize that whenever I start writing, I'm usually bored. And I'm that guy in the math class on the left back who starts suddenly laughing and like tries not to get the attention on him, but like something stupid comes to my mind. And usually the most I'm most lonely is usually when I laugh, usually. Not many people are not laughing at the things that I'm laughing. For example, I was walking in Taksim Square like 10 years ago. This ice cube, all the square is ice cube, and someone just put a banana, in the middle of that ice cube. And I told my friend, like, this is really cool. Someone did it. And like, everyone think, okay. I'm that awkward, okay, said guy usually, always. And yeah, and you can definitely change. If I didn't believe it, I wouldn't be shooting you.
Definitely.
I was reading in the director's statement in the production notes, and you said something that caught my eye. You said you always like mixing genres, switching between them in your films. It's always like you're creating your first film, even though this is your fourth film. So I know this is your first English language film, and I'm just curious to know what about that, or even other experiences you had creating this film pushed you out of your comfort zone and allowed you to explore new avenues as a filmmaker.
Don't shoot in New York City, in the middle of New York City, especially don't shoot in Chinatown Friday night. No, don't. Comfort zone. There's no comfort zone in that. I felt shooting in a different language more freeing than shooting in your language because you can just transform and like look from outside what you're doing, or sometimes even the word sounds strange to you, which gives you a strange rhythm also. And there I had two choices. One, to be scared about it or just be Tolga, because it's my own language, to be honest with you. That's what we're watching right now. So it's not English. Most probably someone would have shot it differently, visually and also phonetically also. So I was myself and I was so happy on the set. It was just like another set that I was on.
That's amazing. Well, thank you. I know we're out of time here, so I'll let you go, but thank you so, so much for sharing your time with us and sharing this film with us. We're so excited to share this conversation and get people watching the film. It's a great film.
Thank you very much, Nicole. Thank you, Grace.
Well, we hope you enjoyed our conversation. Nicole and I had a great time doing that interview. A big thank you to KWPR for helping us set this up and for giving us access to the screeners. We loved it.
Yes, and don't forget you can watch Psychotherapy, The Shallow Tale of a Writer Who Decided to Write About a Serial Killer in New York theaters on April 4th, and then it expands to its theatrical expansion and on-demand viewing on April 11th. Yes, well, into the news category, starting off strong. This summer I turned pretty. We have now officially received the first official stills from the new upcoming season. So excited. Gracie and I talked about this for like 10 minutes before we hopped onto this call. But listen, us Conrad girls aren't doing good after this because there are many pictures of Jeremiah and Belly together. We ha even have some Taylor and Steven pictures. We have, I think there's like two or three pictures with Conrad in them, and there's only one of him by himself. None with Belly, besides if you discount the group photo. Although I will say the one with Laurel and Belly sitting on the dorm bed was really cute. It
All
looks like
right,
we're both
here's what we should do. We are going to put up each picture because there's only like what,
love.
six,
There's no
seven.
cute. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna put up each picture and we're gonna break it down for you because we are both so sad for this last season. So I know we have opinions and I know we have the same opinions, but I still think it'll be
Yeah.
funny.
Okay, I
Starting off
agree.
strong, we have the beach picture with everyone just sitting chilling.
This is so sad to me because Conrad's just in the middle
But you
of a
know what?
couple
He looks
of women.
so content with life, so he knows he's about to steal
Yes.
Belly back.
Oh man, this is brutal.
You know, Steven and Taylor are really carrying, but
But
also,
doesn't Taylor kind of look sad in this photo?
well, I mean, it's their last summer together, probably, so I would be sad too. But
Okay, true.
also, I don't like the way Jeremiah's arm is over Belly. It just looks so awkward, and I don't like it, but whatever.
It should be flipped.
Real,
Okay,
only time will
next
tell.
photo. I think it's Belly leaving for college, no?
I just want to say, Steven in the background, what a diva. Hand on hip, he knows that they're not supposed to be together. He's like, "Ma'am, where is Conrad?"
He got the double hand on hip, and we
That's
know
what I'm
Steven knows
saying.
Steve
Even
Conrad.
even the man unpacking the car in the back, he has hand on hip too. Everybody's unimpressed with Jeremiah.
Well, that's Laurel packing the car, obviously. Do we think that's the
I think
Jeremiah's dad
it's either Jeremiah's dad or, hear me out, it's the fisherman
author?
guy.
Is he that tall? I thought he was short.
It's been a season since we've seen him.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I have to say, Belly already is killing it with the outfits, though. Can I just say, I love Belly's wardrobe in this show, and I'm already obsessed.
I mean, if we go on to the next picture of Laurel and Belly in her dorm room, it obviously is the same episode because she's wearing the same outfit.
Yeah,
Otherwise, she is an outfit repeater. Um, you
I love the
know,
box storm stuff she has in the back. She has the lamp. It looks like a ukulele.
it looks like they're looking at a Polaroid. So I have a feeling that Polaroid is gonna make me cry. But also, the blurry poster on the side, I feel like that's gonna have some significance.
Oh yeah, the volleyball one, absolutely.
Yeah. Is it volleyball? Oh, it is volleyball.
Yeah,
Wow.
it is. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you on that one. Okay,
All
next one was Steven and Taylor. See, why is Taylor looking so dismay? I
if
don't
you want
like this.
chemistry done right, look at these two.
Look at
Because
the hand placement. Yes, Steven. Yes.
Steven, Steven's if he wanted to, he would. Because remember last season where I think his name was Milo, her ex-boyfriend was just being
Yep.
a dick, and he was
The
like, "You
diss
don't even know her
track.
middle name?" Ugh. But yeah, I
Oh
will agree with
man.
you. Taylor does look very sad, so I'm wondering what is going
Maybe
on there.
they're She might be leaving like far for college, maybe something like that.
Maybe, maybe.
Who knows? Okay, next one. My
Oh,
fave.
Connie baby.
My fave. Okay, he is looking this to me is giving he's about to make an epic grand gesture after this phone call. He's going towards an emergency with this phone. Look at his face. He is ready.
I love this man. I love this man, but I cannot trust this man with a phone because I feel like he just digs himself a pit every time he's on the phone.
That's
Um, that being said, I'm loving the doctor look. Not gonna lie.
right. What Belly's line of this is definitely your luck, Connie baby.
This is 100% your look, Connie baby.
Is it?
Yeah.
Real. Like you can't even tell me if he showed up to see Belly like that. She wouldn't be like, wow, a man.
Okay,
Ugh,
next photo.
disappointment again.
But I'm loving Belly's dress.
You
My
and
stands. I
you and
love
Belly's clothes are the only redeeming factor of these.
I love this outfit. I don't love her accessory. I love the outfit.
I I just don't feel chemistry between them. I'm sorry. I it just feels really forced to me where Belly made a decision and now she just kind of has to like deal with it, but
They're
she's not
still
happy.
giving this.
It's
Yeah.
giving siblings or dating.
Ugh. Okay. Next one we see. I'm assuming Belly joins a sorority because if you look at her sweater with the crest. Also, I love the glasses. Again, it's giving very much the party city store vibes. She's like, this is 100% your look, Connie baby.
I'm saying shout out to Liz, producer Liz on this one because she said it's giving very much like 1989 era.
Oh, that's also very true, actually.
And you know, I love the thought of that. And it also feeds into my delusion that there will be Taylor Swift songs in this new season.
Oh, 100%.
And
Okay.
last one, ending off depressing. It is Jeremiah and Belly sitting on a bench. She looks like she's reading and he's just, being Jeremiah. But um
Look at Bree. He has a media ethics textbook. Is that his book or Belly's book? I don't know, but which one of them studies media?
I don't know if he knows anything about ethics, but okay. Um I just
Although,
yeah.
look at her outfit.
Nicole, the only
I
part
love.
I will say the only part of the outfit I don't love is the socks.
That's fair.
But I just feel like in this photo there is nothing going on in Jeremiah's mind.
No,
But
no.
killer calves though, dude.
Well, that is all the photos we've received so far. So we're gonna keep talking about this as it comes out, but I'm very excited to see this new season. I'm a little scared, but I'm very excited. But Gracie, what's happening over at Marvel? Because last week we got a very large announcement for Avengers Doomsday.
Honestly, this was the longest announcement I think they've ever done, and I love all the memes that went with it. For those of you who don't know, they did a live stream of basically them just putting down actor chairs with their names on the back to reveal a bunch of the cast that's going to be in Avengers Doomsday. And they took their sweet time with it. I think it ended up being like a few hours long. But with that being said, some of the names that we got here are Chris Hemsworth, Vanessa Kirby, Letitia Wright, Sebastian Stan, Anthony Mackie, Wyatt Russell, Paul Rudd, Simu Liu, Florence Pugh, and Kelsey Grammer. Honestly, this is a huge lineup, and there are obviously more that go in with this as well. But people are a little upset they haven't seen Tom Holland yet. But they have said that this is just like the first drop of names. They still want to keep some secret. So we still have time. There is still time for Avengers Doomsday. And obviously Robert Downey Jr. was there as well. But yeah, if you keep going, they're bringing back a lot of older characters. There's a few X-Men characters. I know James Marsden is coming back, and I'm
Yeah.
sad for him. I feel like he's killing it lately. One that I'm super excited about, and I think a lot of people had a good reaction about, was Channing Tatum.
Yes. Yep.
Gambit is making a name for himself, and I'm
Coming back.
so excited. Yeah, there's a lot of names and a lot of throwbacks, but I'm excited to see what they do with this because I don't want it to be one of those movies that just relies on the names. I want it to be able to have like a good storyline that brings us back to like end game type vibes where it was actually like shocking and you could sit through the 3.5 hours and be like, I'm glued to this screen.
Yeah. I think it was interesting. I saw a lot online of people being like upset that they announced some of these names because of Thunderbolts. And
Mm,
they're like, well, I saw an article published that was like this kind of gave away possible surprises in Thunderbolts or like possible deaths, that kind of thing, like on both ends of it, like people that clearly aren't dead or people that maybe might be dead. But then people were like, well, that could just be like a flashback they're bringing back in this movie. It could be like a different time. Like you don't
mhm.
know. So I agree with other people that are like, that doesn't necessarily give away any spoilers because you have no context.
I'm just so ready for Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie to be back together for press.
Yes.
Like, what a chaotic duo. But stepping away from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Nicole, what do we have next?
Yes, Jack Reynor has been set to star in a new The Mummy film with Lee Cronin writing and directing. I feel like every time I talk about The Mummy, I just think back to when I was on the Mummy ride in Universal Studios in Florida. I love that ride, but I love the movie too. Love the movie too, and I'm very excited to see what they're doing with this new one. Um, I mean, we don't have too much information about it yet, but this just goes back to Gracie and I's point of like a lot of revival of franchises, a lot of sequels and trying to take old ones and revamping them for new generations, which is fine, but it'll just be interesting to see how they try to spin this new one.
I really don't think we need to revamp them for generations because the classics are classic. Yeah,
Exactly.
they might have bad CGI, but they're still so fun to watch. Like the original Mummy, yeah, I'll watch it. The Mummy Returns, I'll watch it, but like the Tom Cruise one, still haven't watched it.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna go out of my way to watch it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do with this one and see if they make it different or if it's just a remake for a new generation.
Well, also coming with this news, we have two other release dates for upcoming films. Gracie, what do we got on the theatrical release list?
I'm gonna let you take a certain one because I know you're more excited about it than I am. So what do we have first, Nicole?
Well, The Strangers Chapter 2 sets its theatrical release date of September 26th, which actually knocked off the upcoming rumored Saw film. Was originally also supposed to be released on the 26th, and now they have taken that off of the calendar and replaced it with The Strangers Chapter 2. But I genuinely think my sister and I are the only two people on this planet that are excited about this movie, and that's not a knock to the movie because I loved it. But
Mm.
everyone seems so up in arms about about creating these movies. They didn't have that many great things to say about the first one. I thought the first one, Strangers Chapter 1 that came out last year, was exactly what I signed up for. It was a campy slasher film, very similar to the original Strangers. I will give them that. But if you watched the trailer going into it, you knew it was going to be very similar vibes and very similar storyline. They were just revamping it with more of an Airbnb instead of someone's home. I thought it was fun, and I thought Madeline was great in the film. I'm very excited to see her as our final girl going into the second film. So I'm sad for this.
Did you watch the original Strangers?
Yeah,
Huh. I feel like we had a conversation where you hadn't watched it.
I've watched it since.
Okay. That makes sense.
I did. When I first saw the first, when I saw the first one, I hadn't watched it. Now I've watched it.
Wow. Look at you watching something on our watch list.
But what is next?
Next up, another theatrical release date. Verity by Colleen Hoover is going to be released to theaters on May 15th, 2026. The film stars Dakota Johnson, Anne Hathaway, and Josh Hartnett. It is obviously based off of the best-selling novel that she has. Hopefully, it goes better than it ends with us, but only time will tell.
Over the past week, we also got the official trailer for the upcoming film Final Destination Bloodlines, which is hitting theaters on May 16th. And you know what? I actually am intrigued by the concept that they're presenting with this film. They're doing it as like a family line. Basically, now, since the grandmother didn't die in one of the previous Final Destination instances, that now basically the Final Destination ghost, as I like to call it, is out for their entire family, their entire bloodline, because none of them are supposed to exist because the grandmother was supposed to die a long time before that. So I think it's very interesting. I am now very on edge for any time someone invites me to a barbecue. If you've seen the trailer, you know why. Also, the glass and the ice machine. No, no thanks.
I don't know what urged me to watch this trailer, but I did. And honestly, I was sweating because I originally thought that the glass was going to be drunk and then
Yeah,
it was gonna like slit someone's throat
yeah.
open. But no, we just got worse.
I
So,
was like,
yeah, I love the idea of it. Like, I think it's very original and very captivating, kind of different than the other Final Destinations.
yeah,
Keep in mind, I have not watched those, but I know the gist. So I say it with that. But yeah, I mean, I guess we could have guessed it was like a family theme with bloodlines, but
true.
we weren't thinking.
And what's last up on our list for news this week, Gracie?
Last up, we have Zendaya back in another role. She is set to portray musical legend Ronnie Spector in the Be My Baby biopic with A24, and it is set to be directed by Barry Jenkins.
Zendaya is booked and busy for the foreseeable future.
Honestly, good because I'm scared because she keeps saying she's going to retire young, and I don't know what the industry is going to do without her because she is an icon.
Literally.
So,
Well, on to our next segment of the show. What was your, or I know you have a few this week. What is your watch of the week, Gracie?
I shockingly have more than one this week.
Woohoo!
I decided to make this week my week that I did a bunch of screeners that I had to do. So that is why. First up, I watched G20, which thank you to the Tarot Group and Prime Video Canada for sending me an invite to go to an early screening in Toronto. It was such a fun time. I can't really say much about the movie because it's still embargoed until the film does come out. But it was interesting, and I do have a lot of thoughts about it. So when that embargo is lifted, I will be talking about this film. The second film on my watch list was Gunslingers. So thank you to KWPR and Lionsgate for giving me a screener to that. I also can't talk about that one just yet because it is embargoed until next Monday. So you'll be hearing about that later. All I can say is I love the character Gracie. I think she's great. Um, she is a key role in this.
No bias there, right?
No bias whatsoever. I was just shocked because usually characters are named like Grace, but this was Gracie. So shout out to her. But also, Nick Cage playing a hippie is like the craziest thing ever, and I love it. My last one that I can actually talk about is MobLand. It has Tom Hardy, Pierce Bronson, and Helen Mirren. They're all iconic names. Let me tell you, Tom Hardy, a man. So this basically follows, as the title says, a mob family. Tom Hardy is like this bad guy that helps cover up bad things that happen, keeping the peace with all the different crime families. And he's just a badass. Right now, I'm only on episode 2, so I can't say too much about it, but the action is there. It's thrilling. The acting, obviously, these are like three legends. It's gonna be great. Um, but I'm really invested in it. So thank you to Paramount Plus for early screeners for this season. But episode 1 of Mobland is now streaming on Paramount Plus. Nicole, what was your watch of the week?
Well, like you, I've been trying to get through things. I have been trying to stick to my word of getting better at watching all my TV shows that I've been saying I will watch. So, I have officially finished Severance last, like over a week ago now.
Didn't you say that last week?
I had the last episode to watch.
Right.
I
Okay.
had like an episode and a half to watch.
Continue.
Oh man, I can't wait to get Gracie on this show because I've been talking to my other friend Kira about it nonstop. I send her stuff from X all the time. It's all over my TikTok. Oh my gosh, it's taken over my life and I love Severance. I know I'm sorry I'm late to the game. Maybe I'm like a bandwagoner on this point, but I just really enjoyed it. So, very excited about the upcoming, well not upcoming, but I'm very excited for a future season 3 for Severance. I also watched the first 2 episodes of The Studio. I'm very excited for this week's episode to come out. I, like many other people, really, really enjoyed the first 2 episodes, so very excited to see where the rest of the season takes us. I watched Adolescence on Netflix. Great limited series. It's very, let me just say the actor who plays the young boy, the star of the show, phenomenal. And that was his first ever role, I believe. And so I'm very excited to see where his career takes him because he was just phenomenal in the show. That's a very hard, a lot of that was very, very difficult subject matter. And a lot of the episodes, not all the episodes, are one shot. So it's just very impressive.
I just want to shout out that kid. Totally not off topic, but kind of off topic. His next role is playing a young Jacob Elordi in Wuthering Heights.
Yes. Oh, very happy for him. Very excited. And then lastly on the TV docket, I started The Residents on Netflix and I'm only 1 episode in, but I'm really invested now. I'm very much hooked. So I will keep you updated on that. But all of season 1 is out on Netflix for The Residents, so you can watch that now as well. But my movie watch of the week, thank you to the Terra Group and Prime Video, was Marked Men, Rule and Shaw. It has been released in other countries, so maybe some people have been able to see it, or in theaters otherwise, maybe, but this is coming to Prime Video Canada shortly. So I had a chance to watch it. It's honestly it's exactly what you think it is going to be. If you watch the trailer, if you read what it is, basically if you go to Letterboxd, the synopsis says, Love always leaves a mark. Shaw Landon has loved Rule Archer from the moment she laid eyes on him. Rule, a fiery-tempered rebel tattoo artist, doesn't have time for a good girl pre-med student like Shaw, even if she's the only one who can see the person he truly is. So basically, Shaw's character dated Rule's identical twin brother, who passed away in a car accident. And now these two are starting this relationship, physical relationship basically. But it's just I don't know, something about dating your dead twin brother's girlfriend seems off to me personally.
Seems more off than my fault.
They're tied in my head.
I yeah, I'm not a fan of that trope.
But anyways, it's just very it's a Voltage Pictures production, which also did After. So
Do not bring after into this.
it's just a very like cheesy, physically driven film. So if you're into that, then maybe you like this film. I just found it's very cheesy, like I said. It has a lot of tropes in it. So That will be releasing to Prime Video Canada soon in the future. What is your song of the week, Gracie?
My song of the week is Benson Boone's new song, Sorry I'm Here for Someone Else. I don't know what it is about Benson Boone, but like he just never misses with his music.
He never puts out a bad song.
No. And I keep seeing I love that SNL included him in a skit
Oh, I loved that. That was so good.
because that proved our point of people being mad about him only doing backflips. So
Literally.
slay Benson Boone. But what was your song of the week, Nicole?
My song of the week, my sister put me on it, which also then immediately after was all over my TikTok, so I feel like it was inevitable one way or the other, was Thought It Was Love by Ty Myers. He has a full extended version of his album out now, and Thought It Was Love is just such a good song, so I've been listening to that on repeat all week. Let's take it to the upcoming releases. Starting off today, April 3rd, The Bondsman, which is a miniseries over on Prime Video.
Devil May Cry is also coming April 3rd on Netflix.
We also have on Netflix Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 3.
And Pulse is also coming to Netflix.
Taking it over to the theaters on April 4th, we have The Friend.
We also have a Minecraft movie in theaters.
Also in theaters, we have Freaky Tales.
For limited releases that day, we have Hell of a Summer.
We also have a limited release, The Luckiest Man in America, which Gracie and I both saw at TIFF last year, and great movie. It's a lot of fun.
Love. Also, another TIFF film, A Nice Indian Boy, is having a limited release as well.
On April 4th, still, we have over on Netflix Karma.
And lastly, on April 4th, we have FX Dying for Sex on Hulu.
And then on April 8th, we have How to Sell Drugs Online Fast, Season 4 over on Netflix.
We have The Handmaid's Tale Season 6 on Hulu.
We also have My Next Guest Needs No Introduction with David Letterman, Season 5, Part 2 on Netflix. And that is ending off all of our upcoming releases. That was a lengthy title, my goodness.
I was thinking that.
Well, that is all we have for today. So thank you so much for sticking around and hanging out with us and talking all things entertainment news. We will be back same time next week to share more. Until then, I'm Nicole.
I'm Gracie, and you can watch us wherever you listen to your podcasts on Spotify and YouTube.
See you next week. Bye.